Hi you guys, this is Jamie with Whatever's Clever Boutique, and today we are going to make another peekaboo. I told you guys we'd probably do every holiday, and here we are with our 4th of July peekaboo on our Big Betty. But this time we are going to do a mommy and me set. I am so beyond obsessed with how these turned out. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial, and of course I will have everything that I use listed and linked in the description box below. So let's go ahead and get started on our mommy and me tumblers. We're going to go ahead and start with a 16-ounce plump and a 40-ounce Big Betty, both from the Tipsy Magnolia. And the glitter on the 16 ounce is Bluey from Peachy Olive Glitters. And on the 40 ounce, this is actually the tumbler we did on how to epoxy a Big Betty. And the glitters were Heavenly and Guy Diamond for this one. So these are all ready to go with their base glitter. And I went through and did a good deep sand on these on the rim. And they are fully epoxied, so we're gonna go straight in with our stencil vinyl. And I just got some stars again off of Creative Fabrica, and I just go ahead and lay these all over both of the tumblers. There is no rhyme or reason. I do try and leave a little bit of space for the stars that we're gonna put in after the fact as like accent spots, if you will. So I just go through and place them where I see fit. Now, one thing that I do find to make peekaboos a little bit easier is I go ahead and I sand the whole tumbler. I just find that it makes it easier for the vinyl to pull up when we go to pull it up later after we do our spray paint. So if you would like to, you can totally run and try that step. Totally up to you. But we're going to go ahead and spray paint our red, blue, and white spray paint in vertical stripes. For our red glitters, we're going to use 176, Waylon, and Sookie. I have Liberty and Semper Fi for the blue, Veil, Boo, and Bougie for the white. And we're actually going to make a custom mix here. And I initially was going to do a 50-50 mix of Bougie and Veil, and then decided that I wanted more Veil just because it had more of those pieces that were opaque and would probably blend better with those metallics that we're going to be using in the red and the blue. So I went ahead and did about a 75% Veil and 25% Bougie. Don't do this. I messed up. I started just going and I pulled off all of the stencils. I figured I'd show you my mistake so that if you ever end up making it, you can know how to remedy it. But you guys, I pulled off every single stencil on both tumblers. So I had to go back to my silhouette, cut those stars back out, and replace them over my peekaboo spots. I was so annoyed. But nonetheless, here we are. We apply those stars back on. And then we're going to go ahead and take our hot glue gun. Because these glitters are metallic and opaque, we will not be able to see any permanent marker through those glitters. So I am taking my hot glue gun. And this is basically just going to make raised sections. So after you apply your glitter, you're going to be able to see where that hot glue is at and know that that is where you have a stencil at. So that is just how I find it the easiest to pull up peekaboos with this kind of glitter. So once we get that all done, we're going to take our UV resin and we're just going to go ahead and apply a thin coat of epoxy to each one of those tumblers. Now with our Big Betty, we do want to take caution around those little stubs, if you will, where the handle is going to reattach, and we want to be sure not to apply epoxy too close in there because we really don't want to build up that handle section, so our handle will go back on flawlessly. To start our glitter, I'm going to go pretty heavy with my white right in the middle of that white section. I just don't want to take the chance of any of the red or the blue blending too far into the white, just because it is such a light color going against such dark colors. So as you can see there, I'm just doing a line pretty hefty of that white custom glitter mix we made on both of the tumblers. And as always, we're going to start with the chunky glitters for our ombre. So now we're going to go in with that 1776, which is our red, and just apply that pretty much the same way as we did the white. Next, we're going to go in with Liberty, and again, apply it the same way as the other two. And I'm kind of letting the glitter fall. I should have probably explained this better the first couple colors, but I'm kind of letting the glitter fall either direction. I'm not trying to get it to go super blended into the other color, but I'm just holding my tumbler straight and allowing that glitter to kind of cascade down either side as I sprinkle. Now that we have all three colors on there, we're going to go back in with our white, and we're going to let that really fall into the other colors because this is the less dominant color. I want to be sure it's really built up in the white section, which will allow us to then take our fine glitters and really start to blend all of the colors into one another. But I just wanted to finish off our chunky glitters with that white so that it was prominent and really on the tumbler in a way that it's gonna have not be overtaken by the other two colors. Sorry, that was really hard to get out. But we want it to hold its own basically with the glittering, so I'm making sure that my coverage is really good on the white. The first fine color we're going to go in with is our white, so I go ahead and take that Boo, and we are just going to start blending our three colors together. So I am taking that fine glitter and really letting it fall into that blue and red section to really start building the blend of our colors. And once we get that white on, we're going to go in with our red and our blue and apply it in the same exact way. Once we get our colors all blended together, we're going to go in one last time with that white to be sure that it is really prominent and stands out on its own on these tumblers. Because we use chunky glitters on these tumblers, I do pat down all of that glitter with a piece of parchment paper just so that it makes our epoxying process a lot easier in the next step. Now, my absolute favorite part of Peekaboo tumblers is the reveal. So we're just gonna go ahead and find those hot glue spots, and I could kind of see it in the white, which was a little bit nice. So I just pull each one of those stars up on both of the tumblers. You do want to take care and caution here when doing this that you don't slip and scratch your tumbler, because that just is such a pain to remedy. You can remedy it, you can kind of put some Mod Podge or something on and sprinkle some more glitter, so it's not like gonna ruin your tumbler completely. But it is just such a pain when it happens because it's just extra steps and so annoying. Once we get all of our stars pulled, now we're gonna go ahead and let these cure under our UV light for, I do a good like 10 minutes. It may be overkill, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Then we're going to go in with 2 coats of our favorite epoxy. Mine is KSRESIN Liquidy Split Ultra UV Epoxy. And then I went ahead and took my star offsets. These are all from Tech Wrap Craft, this vinyl. It is their satin metallic. It is so gorgeous. And as always with these peekaboos, I save the insides of the stars as well for other projects, but we are just going to mix and match. These ones, the base glitter is the blue, so I know I don't want to put a blue outline. So I took the silver and I took the red in those corresponding sizes and just apply those right over the top of those stars to give us a real good outline. And then this one has the red as the background, so we're going to take some blue stars and just keep going all the way around the tumbler, and then repeat the same step on our Big Betty tumbler. Once we get all of the outlines applied, we're going to go ahead and take those little extra stars that we have, and we're just going to put them sporadically throughout the tumbler, kind of in the same concept though. Because I'm laying a star here in the red and the blue, I'm not going to take a red or a blue star and apply it in that area. I'm just going to take an opposite color so that we have some dimension and depth on the tumbler. So we are just going to continue applying those little stars on both of the tumblers. Now, I'm so frustrated with myself. I totally forgot to push record on this step, but I went ahead and applied a thin coat of epoxy and then put some of this Mr. President in the remaining epoxy and just sporadically applied it to the tumbler. As you can see here, there's those little chunky bits throughout the tumbler. And so I will link a tutorial where I show how I do that, but it is fairly easy. You just mix some in with your remaining epoxy and just brush it over with a gloved finger. After that coat cures, we're going to go in with one final coat of epoxy. Now we're going to go ahead and apply that handle back onto our Big Betty. So I just go ahead and put that on and put my little screws in either one of the holes, and I just tighten it slowly. So I do a couple of twists on the upper screw and then a couple of twists on the lower, back and forth, just so it doesn't put a lot of pressure on either one of those little stubs on the inside. And it helps me get the handle on a lot easier without it wanting to bounce out of the other side. So I am so excited with how these turned out. I love them. These peekaboos on these Big Bettys are like my all-time favorite. If you guys have an idea for one that I should do, definitely send it my way and I will try and recreate that for you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Feel free to like, subscribe, hit that bell button if you want to get notified anytime I post a new tutorial. And I appreciate you guys coming back week after week to watch my videos. I enjoy making these every single week, so thank you so much for your support. I look forward to seeing you guys next weekend. Have a good rest of your day.